A silence has fallen over a small, idyllic town. A young girl, beloved by all, has vanished without a trace. This tranquil hamlet, once brimming with the harmonious hum of everyday life, now stands eerily quiet. The air, previously filled with the scent of blooming flowers and freshly baked bread, now reeks of fear and uncertainty. This town, our town, is the epitome of normalcy, a place where children's laughter was the sweetest melody and neighborly love, the strongest bond. The girl, our girl, was like a breath of fresh air. Barely 10 years old, she was the embodiment of innocence and joy. Her daily routine, as predictable as the town clock, consisted of school, play, and home. Every day at precisely 4 o'clock, you could see her skipping down the lane, her laughter echoing through the streets. But then, one day, the laughter stopped. The skipping feet were stilled. The town clock struck 4, then 5, then 6. But the girl was nowhere to be seen. The sun dipped below the horizon, casting long, ominous shadows that seemed to whisper, "She's gone." The town sprang into action. Search parties were formed. The local forest, her favorite playground, became the center of attention. Every nook and cranny, every leaf and stone was turned and examined. The forest, once a place of joy and adventure, now seemed like a monstrous labyrinth, swallowing our little girl into its dark, gnarled heart. Her parents, frantic with worry, led the search, their hope the only light in the growing darkness. Friends, neighbors, strangers, all united in a singular mission: to find the missing girl. Yet despite their tireless efforts, despite the countless prayers and the endless tears, the girl remained missing. The town's heartbeat slowed, its breath hitched. As the sun set on the second day, the town was gripped by a chilling realization: the young girl was nowhere to be found. A town united in dread, the search for the missing girl intensified. The days blurred into nights and nights into days, as the townsfolk, driven by fear and desperation, combed through every inch of the surrounding forest. The local authorities were called in, and soon, the quiet town was buzzing with the hum of police radios and the drone of search helicopters overhead. Yet the girl remained elusive. Every single person in that town, from the old baker to the young schoolteacher, joined in the search. They spread out in groups, flashlights piercing the darkness, calling out the girl's name into the abyss of the forest. The echoes of their desperate cries bounced off the tall, ancient trees, only to return unanswered. The forest, which once held the town's childhood memories of picnics and games, now held a more sinister secret. The girl's parents were the hardest hit. Their desperation was palpable, etched into every worry line on their faces. Their hands, blistered and rough, bore the brunt of their determination. They dug through the underbrush, waded through rivers and climbed steep hills. No stone was left unturned, no cave unexplored. Their resolve was unyielding. Their spirits, although battered, remained unbroken. As weeks passed, the initial surge of adrenaline began to wane, replaced by a creeping feeling of despair. The once bustling town square now stood silent, the laughter and chatter replaced by a suffocating silence. The missing posters fluttered in the wind, their edges frayed, much like the town's hope. Yet, despite the odds, the parents refused to give up. Their love for their child was a beacon, a light that refused to be extinguished. Weeks passed, hope dwindled, yet a glimmer remained. The parents refused to give up. Their hearts, heavy with fear, continued to beat with the rhythm of hope, of a possibility, however faint, that they would find their little girl. And so the search continued, each dawn bringing with it a renewed determination, a renewed promise. The search, as exhaustive and heart-wrenching as it was far from over. In the shadow of the ominous mountain, a glimmer of hope emerged. Driven by a parent's desperate love, they chose to venture into the forbidding forest, their hearts heavy with fear and hope intertwined. The forest, usually a symphony of life, seemed to hold its breath, the eerie silence echoing their dread. Each step took them deeper into the enigma that was the forest, until the foot of the mysterious mountain loomed above them. Their journey led them to the mouth of a cave, a void in the mountain's face that dared them to enter. Stifling their fear, they stepped into the chilling darkness. The cave was like the belly of the beast, a labyrinth of shadows and echoes. The flickering light of their torch revealed the rough walls, and the silence was broken by the soft echo of their footsteps. And there, in the heart of the cave, sat their precious girl, a sight that chilled them to the bone. A sigh of relief turned into a gasp of horror. The parents, their hearts heavy with dread, had finally found their daughter. Their journey, as arduous as it was, had led them to this cave at the foot of a mysterious mountain. Their relief was palpable, a sweet balm that soothed their racing hearts. But this tender moment was short-lived, as their joy quickly morphed into a chilling horror. Their little girl, the apple of their eyes, sat there in the dim light of the cave. She was smiling, a serene and unsettling smile that didn't reach her eyes. Her eyes, those once sparkling orbs, were now a stark, empty white. They held no recognition, no warmth. Her gaze was vacant, devoid of the vivacious spirit they knew and loved. It was as if she were gazing into a world only she could see, a world that had swallowed her whole and left behind this eerie shell. The silence in the cave was deafening, each echo amplifying their growing fear. Their daughter's calmness was the most unnerving of all. She sat there, quietly, her smile never wavering, her white eyes never blinking. It was as if she was frozen in time, untouched by the frantic weeks of her disappearance. The parents reached out to her, their hands trembling. They called her name, their voices echoing off the cave walls, but she did not respond. The sound of their own voices reverberating back to them was a chilling reminder of the strange reality they now found themselves in. The scene was surreal, a nightmarish tableau that defied understanding. Their relief at finding their daughter was now replaced by a chilling dread. What had happened to their little girl? What had she seen in this cave, in the heart of this mysterious forest? The questions swirled in their minds, each one more terrifying than the last. The cave, once a beacon of hope in their desperate search, was now a haunting reminder of their worst fears. Their daughter was back, but she was not the same. The joy of reunion they had envisioned was nowhere to be found. Instead, they were left grappling with a chilling reality. A moment of reunion turned into a living nightmare. The girl returned, but the mystery deepened. In the days following the discovery, the town was abuzz with hushed whispers and curious glances. The young girl, once a vibrant part of the community, was now a spectre of her former self. Her eyes, once bright and full of life, were now an eerie, opaque white. She sat in silence most of the time, a serene smile playing on her lips. Her parents, relieved to have her back, were nonetheless perplexed and terrified by her transformation. The townspeople too were unsettled. What had happened to the young girl in that shadowy cave at the base of the mountain? The theories began to swirl, each more unsettling than the last. Some spoke of an ancient curse, buried deep within the mountain, that had claimed the girl as its latest victim. Others whispered of otherworldly beings, hiding in the shadows of the forest, who had ensnared the girl with their supernatural powers. The town's doctor was baffled. He could find no physical reason for the girl's white eyes or her strange behavior. The local priest too was at a loss. He had performed a blessing on the girl, but it had brought about no change. Even the most rational minds in town were left scratching their heads, unable to provide a logical explanation for the girl's condition. And so, the mystery remained. The girl's smile, as cryptic as the cave she had been found in, offered no answers. The townspeople could only watch, speculate, and fear. The young girl was back, but she was not the same. She was a puzzle, a conundrum, a living testament to the chilling enigma that lurked in the heart of the forest. The girl was back, but the question remained, what happened in that cave? In the quiet town, an eerie silence lingered. The echoes of a tale too chilling to recount filled the empty streets. A young girl, lost and then found, yet forever altered by an experience none could fathom. She was discovered in a cave, nestled at the foot of a mountain, shrouded in enigma. Her eyes, once bright with innocence, now a stark, unnerving white. The townfolk tried to unravel the mystery, to piece together the puzzle of her disappearance, but the answers remained elusive, locked away in the silent whispers of the forest and the hushed sighs of the mountain. The search was over, the girl was home, but the unease remained, hanging over the town like a dense fog. The girl's smile, once a symbol of joy and warmth, now seemed to hold a secret too profound, too terrifying. The girl returned, but the mystery remains. What happened to her in that cave, on the foot of that mysterious mountain, remains a chilling enigma.